Okay, so now we are on chapter 6. And we're at school now, and it's raining. And she's watching all the students come in. You know, they were using their books. Because remember, she's got that outdoor classroom. Or it's like a, kind of like a trailer type situation. There's like the main building. And then she basically volunteered to have one of the away buildings. You know, so she could lock her prey inside. So they've all had to run to that other location. So now they're all wet. And she sees Jack come in. You know, I thought I found my glasses the other day. And I reached down to pick them up. And then it hissed at me and ran away. It was the cat. Jack came in a few moments later. A tracing of rain around his shoulders. He'd used a folder to shield his head, and his hair had managed to stay nearly dry, but the calves of his legs had been showered. I watched each one of the drops snaking down his legs, some of them traveling all the way from his knee in a manner that recalled urine. The innocence of that thought, a frightened Jack in the middle of the classroom, wetting himself, me undressing him from his soiled clothes, his damp, tender skin cold to the touch, briefly clutched me in a fantasy of erotic mothering and made me long, oddly and briefly, for a more developed personal relationship with Jack. Watching water run down a little boy's legs and going off on that tangent. What the fuck's wrong with you, lady? Come on. So, after class, she asks Jack to stay behind, and she tells him to remain in his desk. And she sits behind him and tells him not to turn around because she wants to talk to the back of his head. So she's sitting directly behind him, and she basically tells him that she happened to be going by his house and she caught him masturbating. So as you can imagine, for any 14-year-old boy to find out that not only did he get caught doing that, but that one of his teachers caught him doing that, you can imagine he's a little mortified. See, this is Celeste's whole play, though. You see, this is where she tells him, "Oh, but I liked it, and I can't stop thinking about you." And then she asks him if she can kiss him. So, of course, you know, he's a 14-year-old boy. His hormones are raging. Of course, he's going to say yes. And, of course, it's awkward. She ends up pushing her lips to his teeth. I'll just read it. I pushed my lips hard against his teeth, gripping a section of soft hair on the back of his head. Minutes later, when I opened my eyes to pull away, I saw that his were already drawn wide. They'd been open and staring the entire time. I moved my hand up his leg and he squirmed a little, ashamed. And the reason he's ashamed is because now he has an erection. And only now does she get up to lock the door. Maybe she was assuming like he was going to run away when she was like, "Hey, caught you jerking off the other night." He just scrambles and takes off running. That's probably what I would have done. You know, my super sexy teacher sitting behind me, her breath on my neck. She's like, "You know, the other day I was driving by your house and I saw you and you were touching yourself." I'm like, "No, wasn't me." And she take off running. She's like, "No, wait, though, I liked it." I'm like, "No, you didn't. And also, I didn't do that. Don't tell anybody. Please don't fucking tell anybody." So she gets up and locks the door. And she shows him her breasts. And so they start kissing again. And she grabs him by the back of the head and guides him down to her breasts. And he starts sucking on them. Sometimes I'm at work reading this. Sometimes I'm in my car. Sometimes my wife is like within the earshot of me. You know, she'll be in the other room getting ready. And I'll just be reading this. Like, "What's that?" "Oh, yeah, honey. Yeah, I'll get milk when I go to the store later." So anyway, about this little boy sucking these nipples. It's like, okay, so they make out a little bit more, and he has to leave because he's got to get to class because we're in school here, and he still has a Still has an erection. And he's wearing basketball shorts. I think I only wore basketball shorts a handful of times in school. For this exact reason. I'm sure every guy has that story in school where you either had to get up to write something on the blackboard, or you just had to get up and walk to the teacher's desk to get something, and you just got a rager, and you're like, oh God, everybody's gonna see it. Because everybody's sitting down, and you have to get up so that it's at eye level. This is what you think it is. It's at eye level, so it's just kind of going by everybody's eyes. So it's going to draw everybody's attention, and you know it. You can't miss it. So after that, it was just jeans and duct tape every day. Rolls and rolls of duct tape. I spent my whole allowance on duct tape just to hold that thing down. Stop it! I'm trying to learn. Okay, then a little later in the day, Assistant Principal Rosen comes in. And Celeste gets a moment of, uh-oh, am I in trouble? But it quickly goes away because the reason he's come to see her is because you remember Janet Feinlog, the older, wearied, burnout teacher who is just sick of these fucking kids. Well, Assistant Principal Rosen is thinking about firing her because she's just performing way below criteria, way below what she's expected to do. It's almost like she doesn't like her job. I can't imagine. So he's thinking about firing her. He even says about Janet, she told a mother, that she has fantasies of working in a juvenile detention center where they make the kids wear shock collars. But Celeste has a different idea with what to do with Janet Feinlog. You see, when they had the open house earlier, one of the students' mothers, Mrs. Pachenko, she was very hands-on, very, I was just about to say she's very anal, but in the context of this book, that would mean something totally different. She's just very uptight, and she kind of wanted to, originally she wanted to shadow Celeste and like, basically eavesdrop on the class, which, you know, from Celeste's perspective, if you're creeping on young boys in a class, you can't have another adult who can clearly see what you're doing staring at you. So she basically pawns Mrs. Pachenko off onto Janet under the guise of, oh, Mrs. Pachenko will help her. She'll give her some much needed assistance. And that should help her better service the students, teach the students, not service. So Assistant Principal Rosen says that's a great idea. We'll go ahead and we'll try that, and we'll see if that works. Assistant Principal Rosen says, "We're very lucky to have you here." And on his way out, he stops and says, "But luckiest of all are the kids. You're fantastic with them. I know." He winked. "I've got my ear to the ground." You need a bigger ear, Assistant Principal Rosen. Maybe that's why you're the assistant. So that's chapter 6.